Welcome back. President Biden and other world leaders are weighing an intervention in Haiti. Right now, the Caribbean nation is on the verge of collapse as it deals with a growing humanitarian crisis, gang violence, and a cholera outbreak.
You may be wondering, how bad is it? Well, the situation is deteriorating rapidly. There are reports that children cannot get food. In fact, today they're drinking dirty water. These are some of the images sent to us by the Jack Brewer Foundation. Jack's a great friend of the program. The foundation feeds more than 3,000 children in Haiti, but unfortunately, they right now today cannot get the food and the resources delivered to these children due to gang violence and complete lawlessness in Haiti.
Joining us now is Jack Brewer, retired NFL player and entrepreneur and philanthropist. Jack, great to have you with us.
Hi, Jack.
Great to be back with you, John.
So, Jack, we've talked about this for a long time, and we hear that the Biden administration and other world leaders are weighing intervention. But what we've seen in the past is these large-scale attempts to help out Haiti haven't gone well. Why is it that you guys and your organization are able to make such an impact with these Haitian orphans when big non-governmental organizations, and we saw the concerted effort with President Clinton and President Bush trying to rehab Haiti, that didn't exactly work out well. So why are you guys able to make a difference when we see bigger players run into problems?
In situations like this that are so deep, right? When you're talking about extreme poverty, you have to be with the people on the ground, actually touching them. You can't just have folks who are working for large organizations making hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars, some of the top executives. You're just not going to be able to go there and rid corruption. And in places like Haiti, where people are so desperate and poor, and poverty is stricken everywhere, you really have to be able to have people that are there for the right reasons, to be quite honest with you. You can't be there just to go out and fill your pockets and try to get these massive government contracts like so many of these agencies do. You have to go there with the heart and be there to serve God and serve the fellow people, because extreme poverty is real. There's folks that right now, they live off of $1 or $2 a day. And when they can't get food and water, they have to watch their kids starve. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now on the ground.
In this day and age, to hear that is awful. I'm worried about the kids. I'm worried about the lack of attention. And as you point out, Jack, we do have to call it out. There are a lot of NGOs that are getting a lot of attention along the southern border to bring in legal services so illegal migrants can come in and try to, just come in across the open border. We see Xbox being given in New York City to these camps. Yet we have children here who, you said they're drinking dirty water. How are we not doing something more as our nation, as Americans?
It's terrible. As I look at these pictures, actually, two of those pictures are Malawi, and it's not Haiti. Someone must have sent them by mistake. But that doesn't matter. These kids are in desperate need right now. I got a call just last week. One of our orphanages, we're watching kids have to drink dirty water. We're trying to get filters and filtration systems in. The gangs have the streets blocked off. We're not able to get food and the normal resources. We've got to remember, we're feeding hundreds of kids every day. We have a soccer program that we've been sponsoring for the last decade, and we feed these kids every day, and we can't get them food. And so just to think about laying your head down at night knowing that these kids depend on us, our organization, to feed them, breaks my heart. It's hard to hold back tears when you really think about having to put these poor kids that are born into poverty. They did nothing wrong. They didn't commit a crime, but the politics that get involved. And then when I hear even people from Haiti, the diaspora, and all these conspiracy theories and who's giving guns and what America's doing and what all these things, who cares about any of that? At the end of the day, if someone's going to be violent enough to keep young kids from getting food and basic things that they need to be smoked out and rooted out by whatever force can come in and do that. No one should be born into these type of situations. So as Americans who are paying tax dollars that are going into places like Haiti, going into countries like this that are that corrupt, we need to demand as taxpayers that righteousness is kept, law and order is kept, and corruption is wiped out across the board with the taxpayers' dollars in the United States of America.
Well, Jack, we didn't mean to highlight the work that you're doing in Malawi as well, but just another reminder of everything that you do, the Jack Brewer Foundation does. And, your point is not lost on us. It is about kids and their future. And, you know, it's if we can't create or help create a situation in Haiti where these kids feel like they have a future, then we're just going to see the immigration problem continue to get worse. And, you know, we see this all the time right off the coast of Florida, Jack. These boats showing up with Haitian migrants. They show up on the southern border too, but they're coming here. These are people who feel like they don't have a future in their own country right now.
That's right, John. John, with the tens of millions we put into Haiti, we need to be there helping them build a corps of engineers so that they can help themselves, so that they can empower their own selves. When a disaster happens, they can build their own bridges and tunnels. But right now, they're a dependent nation, and half of the people that have the brain capacity to go out and leave the country, they leave and come here because they don't want to live in corruption. Now you're leaving the poor and disabled there to die and starve while we're continuing to feed money to that island. It's ridiculous. We need to have better policies when it comes to our foreign aid to the third world.
Right, and building the resources there so they can stay in their homes with their families and create the next generation there that's, you know, at least able to do a little bit better than what their parents have done. That is the hope, you know?
And we can't say this enough, Jack. You do so much amazing work, and we are always happy to highlight it here on this program. Thanks for being with us.
No, thank you too, man. God bless you. God bless Newsmax, man.